Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Meech,
Nizzy,
Drew,
and we'd like to welcome you back to the Black Bento Podcast. And we would like to continue to thank you guys for the support, the suggestions, the comments, and for joining us every time we come out here and put out an episode for y'all. So today, we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. I know we talked about breaking down animes, discussing animes, even debating a few animes, but this is the starting point of all this. So today what we have for you, we're going to go at an anime list. We're going to introduce our own grading criteria and hopefully get you guys involved pretty soon.
for sure. So like Meech said, our first anime episode was very introductory. You know, we just kind of touched on everything one time, feel me? I shared our opinion on a few shows, just light stuff. But our vision of this podcast is to really go into thorough detail and really think outside of the box in ways to analyze anime. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people just analyze anime as if it's a very flat show. It's just flashy and action, and that's what determines if it's good. But we want to get into the creativity. We want to get into the writing. We want to get into the designs of characters.
The emotion.
We want to get into the emotional appeal.
the allure.
The lore, the allure, what makes characters cool. You know what I mean? So we want to give you a different perspective on why you might actually like a show. It might not just be the flashy action. You know what I mean? So there's a couple websites out there on the internet that already have their own list of the best anime ever or greatest of all time. So we figured we'd start there and pick and choose, read some of this list and see what they think and how we feel about this list.
Yeah, my first impressions off this list, not too bad, but can definitely better, a lot better. You know what? We just read it. We just read the list to you. This list is off Ranker.com. Anybody can look it up, and it's dynamic, so it changes by the day, the hour, depending on how anime fans vote up or down on it. So it's a popularity contest.
If you don't know, Ranker is a website that, as the name suggests, they rank a lot of things. And anime has multiple categories in which they rank stuff. And we're going to be reading you the greatest of all time or best anime series of all time rank on Ranker.
Wow.
So let's start from number 10, and we go down to number 1. Mind you, this is like hundreds of animes ranked, but we're just choosing the top 10 for right now. So, number 10, Sword Art Online. 9, Bleach. 8, Fairy Tail. 7 is One Piece. 6 is Dragon Ball Z. 5 is Naruto. 4 is Naruto Shippuden. 3 is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. 2 is Attack on Titan. And 1 is Death Note. Not too bad.
1 through 5, I can really rock with. It's when you start branching out to, what are we talking? We're talking around 10, 11, 12, going into that realm. So the top 10 is pretty solid. But
yo, why is Naruto and Naruto Shippuden considered like two separate animes?
Because
every list.
Because they are. And I know to us, because we watched it linearly and we watched it as one conjoint show. In reality, it's two separate shows. So, like, for me, personally, I've watched Dragon Ball Z and not watched Dragon Ball. But they are... It's Goku in both of them.
yeah,
So, it's two separate shows. Do I agree that if you want to do a thorough rank on the saga of Naruto, you have to include both? Mm-hmm. But if you want to just look at both of them as two separate animes...
it could be done.
It could be done.
Yeah.
But the saga of Naruto, just like the saga of Goku, includes every damn thing.
All right. Well, I guess that makes kind of sense. But yeah. So, is there any anime on the list you'd like to see moved up? Any problems with the ranking so far?
So for me, one of the few on this list that I kind of was like, what the fuck, was Sword Art Online even being number 10. I could think of a crap ton of anime that are better than this show. Like, for those who haven't seen it, I won't try to spoil it too much. Sword Art Online is basically a show where the character gets stuck in a video game And in the video game, if you die, you die in real life. So it's very interesting. I know some of you probably like, what the fuck? That sounds cool. Yes, it sounds very cool. We thought that too. Until we watched it and we see where it ends up. And we're like, yo, it didn't have to do any of that. The core concept of the show was fire. You know what I mean? You play a game and your life's on the line. You know what I mean? But the show transitions into a whole bunch of other things. If you've seen it, you know what we're talking about. And I can name 4 anime off the top of my head that's better than that should deserve number 10 over this. What the fuck?
I didn't mean to cut you off. And also, like I said, I'm not that well versed in Sword Art. I'm in the process of watching it right now. Since it's in the top 10, and so many people have it in the top 10.
Yeah, but, like we've gone to multiple listings, and like this is like a consistent thing.
Like the fuck,
we're the awkward ones here. Like we're the ones out of the place here.
Yeah, I don't really get it. From what I've watched in Sword Art, it really wasn't top 10 worthy. I'm even struggling to put it in top 15, to be honest. I can just as easily name at least 5 anime that are better than Sword Art. So, yeah, I'm really at a loss for why it's in the top 10. I don't know if you guys have a even remote justification for this.
It's creative. I give it that, but
it's a creative concept. Yeah,
it's very creative, especially if you're a gamer. I think what happens is that a lot of anime fans so happen to be gamers. Mm-hmm. So any anime that has gaming relevance seems to be popular, because this is not the first anime of this kind where they get sucked into the game. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you're giving it like the relatability factor is what you're really saying?
I think that might be it, because if you think about like The Time I Turned Into a Slime or The Rise of the Shield Hero, these are 2 new animes that are out right now, and they make heavy video game references. And most anime fans play video games. That's just true.
Quote unquote nerds.
Quote unquote nerd.
Blurs.
Yeah, whatever. So I think that aspect of it and the idea of you actually playing a game and getting stuck in it appeals to a lot of people. So it raises the ranking, in my opinion.
Okay, so it's like an emotional get at the
connection.
Heart.
Yeah,
nostalgic.
relatability.
Yeah.
But do I think the plot's that good? Hell,
absolutely not. No, not a chance. Not top 10.
Demon Slayer's better than that shit. And Demon Slayer's not even.
It just started.
What is it like? 2 episodes
in comparison, yeah. So what else about this top 10?
So I mean, like I said, I have no initial problems here with the top 10. Besides like minor things, like I said, I think my personal opinion is that Attack on Titan is the greatest anime that I've ever watched. Maybe I'm a little bit biased because I read the manga as well, but I think Attack on Titan has like the most amazing storyline I've ever watched.
So let's break it down to this top 5 right quick. I'm gonna read the top 5 again.
I was just about to do it.
Death Note number 1, Attack on Titan number 2, Brotherhood, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. If you haven't seen it yet, you need to watch that. Number 3, Naruto Shippuden number 4, and Naruto Classic or Child Naruto is number 5. So my biggest critique is Naruto twice. I understand that 2 separate anime.
2 slots, yeah, that's...
I understand it's 2 separate anime, and on paper, that's logical. But from any real person, like real anime fan watching Naruto, the show doesn't make sense if you don't watch the first one. You know what I mean? It's not like Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball. With Dragon Ball Z, doesn't necessarily reference Dragon Ball at all.
Right.
Much. It does. The characters are in it, but it's not major connection. Like, they don't talk about when Piccolo was evil.
You could get away with watching Dragon Ball Z and not watching Dragon Ball.
Like, you
That's what
can.
he's really referring to.
Like, they don't even mention the fact that Piccolo used to be evil in Dragon Ball. A lot of people don't even know that. You know what I mean?
I didn't know that.
They don't reference it at all.
Yeah.
He was one of the main villains.
In Dragon Ball, he was a main villain.
So are we gonna say for the purpose of this episode, are we gonna combine them to one anime?
What, Naruto and Shippuden?
Yeah.
I think if we were to modify this top 5, we have to
encompass a saga.
We have to just say Naruto the saga.
Yeah.
The saga of Naruto.
But
we can't separate them.
Will we be doing that for the other anime like Sword Art? Because Sword Art is encompassed by Gun Game. It's encompassed by Sword Art 2.
Wait. I don't recall. My memory's a little off. Is Gun Game the actual name of the show? Or is it Sword Art and they're playing Gun Game?
Sword Art playing Gun Game.
Alright, so that's still Sword Art.
Yeah.
So encompassing it all.
I haven't seen Sword Art 2. I don't know what it is. I think they remade it without the bullshit.
I was more referring to the second season of the original Sword Art when they were in like the fairy tale land.
That's still all one show though.
That's what I'm saying. You're encompassing that.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Makes sense. I mean, it's still called Sword Art.
Yeah. Like Naruto's still Naruto.
No, it's Naruto. Shippuden. Two separate things. When you get down to it. But I agree. That's a great point, O'Neal. I agree 100%. If we're keep it as Naruto the Saga, we have to put something in the fifth spot.
So,
and I'm not letting One Piece.
So wait.
Not
to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
But so if we're gonna encompass Naruto to just one saga, boom, we putting it up to 4.
Yes.
So Naruto doesn't beat Brotherhood, Attack on Titan, or Death Note. We gotta talk here.
Ooh, I mean
Naruto as a saga.
Is
not better than Death Note, Brotherhood, or Attack on Titan.
It's not better than Attack on Titan.
I agree. It's not.
Versus
we put that on the pedestal.
Versus Brotherhood and Death Note.
I'm knocking Brotherhood out, bro. I'm knocking Brotherhood. Brotherhood is very.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Brotherhood is a very amazing story, emotional appeal, all that. It's one of the best animes you can watch. Consistent, it's concise. They don't waste time. But Naruto as a whole, to me, was more impactful, more creative, more entertaining than Brotherhood. Brotherhood was nice, don't get it twisted, but Naruto as a whole, we're talking some of the best fights we've ever seen on anime history. Like, literally, if you made a list of the best anime fights in history, Naruto's literally in that list multiple times.
Oh yeah, I agree. 100%.
Multiple fucking times.
100%.
So if we're gonna say that anime or shonen anime, which we're talking about shonen here, and action is one of the biggest factors in shonen, that puts Naruto above the pack because the action in Naruto is far surpassed hundreds of shonen anime. You know what I mean? So I'm just making an argument that
if we're counting Naruto as shonen, honestly,
it is shonen.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if we're doing just a shonen list, that's what I mean. Then
no, I don't think we're doing just a shonen list. I think we're just paying disrespect. So it is a shonen anime.
If we're talking shonen, since these are all shonen,
yeah, right.
Action is the biggest factor of a shonen. That's what they aim for. They aim for it to be action packed, and I think Naruto wins in that category, way beyond Brotherhood. Do I think the plot progression is better? Nah. Do I think Brotherhood is more emotionally appealing? Yes. You know what I mean? But if we're gonna overall, for me, Naruto's in this list. Naruto's going up to 3.
I mean, I agree with you and I disagree with you because I will put Naruto in the top 3, but I'm not taking out Brotherhood.
You're taking out Death Note.
I'm taking out Death Note.
That's where I was at.
Yeah, I'm taking out Death Note.
That's where I was at.
I'm not taking out Death Note.
Yeah,
I know how I feel about Death Note.
I know how you feel about Death Note.
Yeah.
But I mean, we could critique Death Note later on and all that stuff. But we all talked about our own what we thought about Death Note, particularly the ending.
Man, Brotherhood is nice, man. I don't like how y'all fighting me on this. Brotherhood is nice, but like
Death Note is nice.
You rather take Death Note out?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Brotherhood? Yeah, definitely.
Brotherhood over Death Note?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
No, bro.
Yeah,
okay, I guess. Okay, so I guess that Death Note really appeals to a certain kind of person. I think that's what it, because it really appeals to me in the whole God complex and
I fuck with it too.
Anti-hero. I know you don't understand you fuck with it, but like I really fuck with it heavy. So like I guess I'm biased on the Death Note love. I give you that, but because Brotherhood appeals to a wider audience of people, and Brotherhood is really a good story, just a great story in general. Death Note's story is not as good as Brotherhood. I give you that. I just love the creativity or whatever, and the execution of Death Note. But cool, I can see that. I'll let it go. But I'm still putting Naruto overall. I'm just saying.
Okay, well, we can just agree to disagree for the time being.
Yeah.
But I mean, all right. So we all have Naruto in the top 3. That's what
that's cool.
So give or take, let's say I'll give it to you. Like we'll take Brotherhood to number 4, because no anime after that is coming to usurp it as number 4. So we need to come back. So we need to come up with the anime that's gonna be the 5 slot. And this list has Dragon Ball Z at number 6, and I'm not putting Dragon Ball Z in the top 5.
No way in God's
green. I'm not. And One Piece is at 7. I'm not putting One Piece at 7. You guys should already know that. So Andrew, you know that.
You got a case for One Piece?
You got a case for One Piece being in the top 5?
For in the top 5?
Yeah.
What is out of it?
Dragon Ball.
That's it?
In this case, yes.
That's its only comp?
Yeah. And everything else.
And everything after on this list. So, Fairy Tail, Bleach, Sword Art.
I don't see anything after that could encompass or beat out One Piece except for Code Geass. So, I would say that, honestly, for me, it'd probably be Code Geass in that 5 slot.
And Code Geass is ranked...
Right now, it's number 12, I believe.
Number 12.
Yeah, number 12. So, if I were to say the 5 slot, for me, I'm saving it for Code Geass.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've watched Code Geass, and I also equally love it. But I haven't scrolled through this list yet, y'all. So I'm not going to put it in 5. But he just basically said One Piece is not there. Because we just asked for One Piece case. He gave us a Code Geass case.
So we're...
No.
So, wait.
You asked me, you asked me for the no argument. If One Piece were not, if I could pick an anime over One Piece to be put in there, I'd pick Code Geass. But if I were to put it at my favorite, obviously I'm gonna have One Piece over because I'm biased towards One Piece.
Wait, that's the thing. We're trying to...
If we're doing it objectively, overall, as an encompassing anime, I'm putting in Code Geass.
So Code Geass is better.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's it.
All right, so this is the ranking list. That's your favorite list, man. We got a ranking list anime. All right. Well, how about this? Because this is another anime that pops up all the time. All these fucking every single time I ask people, "Do you watch anime?" They recently they've been throwing this shit out in my face, and that's 7 Deadly Sins, and I haven't watched that, and maybe because there's so much hype around it yet. But I know you two watched it. How y'all feel about
I'm
that?
gonna share my piece on 7 Deadly Sins. I watched the first season. I'm not caught up. I don't read the manga. To give you some background, I watched it years ago when it first came out on Netflix. First of all, the art style or the characters are drawn similar to Dragon Ball Z. I don't know if it's the same artist or what. Andrew, do you agree?
The look of the characters,
yeah, they look like Dragon Ball characters.
Yeah, I can give you that.
I think is the artist from Dragon Ball worked on it, whatever. So I think that alone, the design appeal, to give you some context, Dimitri, appeals to a lot of people because it's like seeing Dragon Ball Z again. Okay. In a sense, if you argue with me in the comments if you want. 2, it's on Netflix, so we gotta get this out the way. Anime that are on Netflix are easy to get to because everyone has a Netflix account. If you don't own it, you stealing it and you borrowing it. Facts. Whatever. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I ain't shit. Play the game right. But I'm just saying, it's easy to get to. You don't got to look for that anime. You just go to anime, boom, 7 Deadly Sins, first thing that pop up. Because
let's watch it, guys.
7 Deadly Sins is actually one of the few Netflix originals.
Yep.
It's a Netflix original, which means they took the manga that someone else wrote and they animated it. I think is what's going on.
Oh,
so Netflix is promoting that motherfucker because it's their show. You can't get 7 Deadly Sins nowhere else unless you bootleg it, which we most do anyway. But I'm just saying. So my point is, I think the hype behind 7 Deadly Sins just comes from its platform and its promotion. Do I think it's that good? No. Like, it's cool. Like, I enjoy it. I think it's a cool watch. But would I watch it over Demon Slayer? No. Would I watch it over, what's another ongoing show?
Fire Force.
Hell fucking no.
Absolutely not.
Would I watch it over
Dr. Stone?
Yes, possibly.
No.
I
think I think Dr. Stone's more entertaining. Like,
really?
7 Deadly Sins is not that great, bro.
Really?
Like, 7 Deadly Sins is really not that great. It's the Meliodas is the best part of the show. I promise you. The main character, literally, he's the best part of the show, and
he carries it all.
The lore is kind of cool, but like the other characters, the secondary characters, are like the cast of Naruto. Like, you don't give a fuck about them. You know what I mean? Like,
it's literally Meliodas and the boys.
Yeah, it's dead ass. It's like in Naruto, it's Naruto, Sasuke, and everyone else. 7 Deadly Sins is Meliodas and every fucking body else. Like, no, you literally don't care about them. They're cool. They have their scenes, but like nothing significant.
I don't even think they have backgrounds. Do they have backgrounds?
Very light touches. Yeah. But I'm only into season 1, so maybe it expands. But I think the show's overhyped, and it would never in God's green earth be on top 10. You're fucking crazy.
All right, bet. So basically, fuck Sword Art Online. I'm cool with that.
And
I'm cool with that. I'm not impressed right now.
7 Deadly Sins too. Cut it off.
Yeah, my bad. And 7 Deadly Sins.
So can we agree on the number 5? What's number 5, y'all?
Fairy Tail.
Whoa.
Medic. Fairy Tail, bro.
Fairy Tail.
Bro, I looked up Fairy Tail highlights and I seen what's his name, Natsu.
Natsu Dragon Hill.
I seen him screaming at somebody.
Yeah.
And
that's a highlight.
And nothing happened.
Come on, up. It's anime. They scream all the time.
Okay, when people scream in Naruto, what happens? They fight.
They announce that
when
they're
people
coming.
scream in Dragon Ball Z, what happened? They change colors.
And then
or they just power up.
Or they fight.
Yeah, they scream.
When people scream in Death Note, they die. So like, I'm just not seeing. I'm not. When people scream in Attack on Titan, they turn into Titans.
Or they get eaten by one.
Or they kill Titans.
Or they kill one. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So I'm just saying the correlation between what's Fairy Tail's highlight.
He has a whole attack about screaming. Like fire dragons roar. He screams.
Or is this like drag? Okay, I'm not a fan. I didn't watch Fairy Tail. Go ahead, share your piece.
Hey, my two people up here don't appreciate the greatness of what is Fairy Tail.
What, friendship?
Hey, Naruto and Sasuke's relationship their whole story was based off friendship.
Reach, but okay.
I mean, he didn't want his friend to go. Like he just said, "You're my best friend." Like the whole show and all that stuff.
They were low key rivals.
Yeah, that's whatever. I mean, Natsu and Gray are rivals too. So I mean, like, there's always a rivalry. There's always a friendship. In anime. Black Clover has the same thing, but that's beside Black Clover has.
Who?
No.
You didn't watch the first episode of Black Bento?
No.
You ain't watch
No,
everybody watching this. Y'all watch the first episode of Black Bento. What we say about that show?
Hey, look, it doesn't matter.
We ain't watching that shit.
It doesn't matter if it's trash or not.
I'm pretty sure one of the co-hosts was like, "Yo, we ain't watching that shit," and y'all was like, "Facts."
Hey, no, I watched it. I said I continue to watch it.
No, I thought you read the manga.
Oh, I did both. I'm still watching it to this very day.
It's a manga in action.
The manga in action.
Continue.
So if you read it, you might as well just watch it.
Then I'll cut that cold turkey.
Okay. Anyways, like I was saying, Fairy Tail has a great storyline, interesting characters, interesting character design, and they have cool moves.
Okay. So does Pokemon.
Nah, Tackle's not really
Everything
that cool.
you just named you could say the same about Pokemon.
Volt Tackle's not cool?
No.
Fire Blast?
No.
Like I say the same thing about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Bro,
Ice Beam?
Essentially, Flamethrower, Fire, Blast, Ember, they're all the same thing. You're just shooting fire at shit. Like, it's not a different type of fire. It doesn't do anything like that.
What does Natsu do?
And stuff. No, Naruto has fire. Natsu has fire dragon form, fire, dragon force, all that stuff. He's a dragon slayer.
So he sounds like a Charizard.
No, he's not a Charizard.
Mega Charizard.
He's a dragon slayer. He could kill dragons if he really wanted to. And if you get down to it, I don't know. I could say a lot of stuff to spoil it. Man, fuck it, I don't care because you gotta catch up at some point in time. Natsu is a dragon slayer and a demon and a human, all in one.
So which one is he?
Whatever he wants to choose. I'm not gonna tell you which one he decided to choose.
This could be very.
Besides the point. Right, at the very least, Fairy Tail is better than One Piece.
Wow. Okay.
Well, my challenge for you is this.
Mm-hmm.
You said the show is very interesting. Tell me one interesting thing about the show.
All right. So
you have 2 minutes.
2 minutes. All right. So in the show, everybody uses magic, and of course, as characters develop and as new characters get introduced, there's newer forms of magic that have consequences. When you use a form of magic that you have not completed, there is a consequence for that. And two of the main characters in the show have suffered that consequence. And they are the storyline they're the main storyline for basically the second half of all the Fairy Tail. That's all. Look into it. It's important.
Andrew, was that interesting? Honest answer.
I don't even remember the last 5 words.
Bro, I heard him talk. He was like, yo, this consequence for using magic, and my brain said, beep.
That's what your brain did? I did static, bro. Bro, I can't give
what was the sound effect?
For all my SpongeBob fans out there, if you haven't seen that episode.
It's funny. This is funny because Andrew was the one that got me into Fairy Tail in the first place.
And he saw the light.
He was like, bro, watch this. And then this dude came and said, Dimitri, watch Black Clover. This is what Fairy Tail should have did. And then 2 weeks later, he's like, nah, fuck Black Clover. I'm not watching this shit anymore.
Obviously, Andrew's a guy you should follow.
No.
You feel me? I'm seeing the light, man. I'm getting enlightened over here.
Foresight. Maybe you should get
You're
glasses.
still blind to this.
Nah.
Walking in the dark room.
He's just,
All right,
we just flip flopping.
We've given Fairy Tail too much time.
Fairy Tail's top 5, but we can discuss that at a later date.
Can we agree on the number 5, y'all?
Probably not.
All right, we're gonna all suggest one. I'm gonna suggest. Damn, but we didn't all see him though. That's the fucking problem.
I put in Code Geass for mine. I'm not taking it back.
I picked Fairy Tail for mine. We'll have this war at a later date. 100%.
This man said Fairy
You got
Tail
Nizzy?
and Code Geass.
He's probably thinking of Kame.
You know, y'all not gonna believe this one.
Oh man, it's about to be something crazy. All right, it's about to be something fucking crazy. Brace yourself. Brace yourself.
Feel that Call of Duty, the heart.
Wait, let me think on it.
What you think, bro? Just say it.
Come on, bro.
Say my
What
hero.
you got?
Say my hero. You know you want to. Deep down in your heart. Deep down in your heart, Nizzy, you want to say my hero. And I don't blame you, because that's hanging at number 6 for
The
me.
hate in your soul can stop your heart from vibing with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can you
Is that what we got, bro?
Can you give me some of that water right there? Nizzy's thinking. Please. I appreciate it. Oh, man.
I'm gonna have to. You know what? I'm gonna have to. Fuck.
Just say my hero, man. Thank you. I appreciate you, bro.
Hey, no time.
So I would say my hero if we were talking manga.
It's a manga in action.
No, the fuck it's not. We're talking anime.
And I hate that
where
so much.
where my hero currently stands in the anime is not even top 20 for me right now.
Whoa.
Where it is in the anime. If those who read the My Hero manga know what's going on, the show is nowhere even in the ballpark range of fire yet. It's cool, not fire. We're not gonna get into a debate.
Yeah, so what's the 5th one?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
we'll
right
discuss
now.
that another time.
For right now, I'm gonna just put in Code Geass because I completed it. Code Geass is a great show. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you. If you have a God complex, you're gonna love it. And yeah, it's a great show.
Okay.
So we can slide on that. So we got a little top 5 together.
All right. So
But this was based off Ranker's list, y'all, and we just wanted to argue that for a little bit. But we're gonna be coming up with our own list, and we're gonna be basing on something a lot more thorough. Ranker bases their ranks off of people just upping and downing the show, like literally just voting.
Contest.
It's a popularity contest, literally, which is why I think 7 Deadly Sins is so high, because so many people could see it on Netflix and watch it. They automatically just up it more than they would see a show that they have to go on Crunchyroll or find on put in some effort to find. So
you know, like Google search it.
So
can we get an honorable mention?
Honorable mention.
Did they make the cut? Top 5, quick.
Fuck.
Mine is pretty obvious here, so I don't think I really need to.
What are you gonna say? One Piece?
Of course.
Oh God. All right. So Angie says One Piece.
Yes.
Me and O'Neal have been trying to talk about that shit for the past 2 months.
I'm gonna say something that y'all probably never heard of, and y'all gotta go check it out. And it's not showing it. It's Angel Beats. Angel Beats was one of the best shows I watched. It's very quick. It's short. Check it out, y'all. If you haven't seen it before, it's a real tearjerker.
Okay. That's the one. I was out of left field. Didn't expect that. I'm gonna say Neon Genesis.
It's a classic.
It's a classic. One of the first things I ever watched. So I might be biased and a little bit nostalgic, but it's the first one that popped in my head as of right now. So
Neon is cool. I enjoyed Neon.
And yours is One Piece. Yep.
Yeah. Stick on One Piece.
Luffy, boy. All right. No. Well, considering we went through that list, you guys let us know in the comments what you think of that quick top 5. That's based off Ranker.com. You Google it. Just Google greatest anime of all time. You'll see the list yourself. And mess around on it. Right. Debate it.
Let us know what you think. You know, leave a little something in the comments.
You can vote on them. Yeah. Well, we're gonna transition into talking about our grading criteria for anime and what we thought of.
Right. I got this. So, as you just heard, a whole lot of subjectivity amongst just us three about anime that we will put in our top 5, our honorable mentions, all that. So, we wanted to get rid of that problem because we imagine if it's happening with us, it's happening with anime fans everywhere. So we decided to come up with the Black Bento Anime grading criteria. So it goes something a little bit like this. We develop tiers. Diamond, gold, silver, bronze. Diamond being the highest, bronze being the lowest. And each tier has a grade interval. So anything that's ranked 0 to 59 will be in the bronze category. 60 to 69 silver, 70 to 79 would be gold, 80 to 89 would be platinum, and 90 to 100 would be diamond.
And we will have all of this stuff on a nice digital, I don't know, document or something, so you can just view it for yourself. This is all gonna be somewhere where you can read it.
Right. And there are 7 things that we are actually looking for when we are grading the anime. Number 1 is plot progression, character design, closure, animation, emotional appeal, uniqueness / creativity, and logical consistency. Sounds thorough enough, right?
Yes.
For sure.
So, what do we mean by plot progression? My personal opinion on plot progression is that every episode matters. Like, every episode that you watch contributes to the overall story of the anime. And for you getting all of your questions answered by the time the anime ends.
I argue that in the sense that, like, some shows can't do that just because of requirements. So, like, a
Filler
show
episodes.
like Naruto, for instance, has to have filler episodes just to keep up with the demand of a new episode. They have to meet criteria, but for those who don't know, filler episodes are basically just episodes that have nothing to do with the plot, and if you miss them, it doesn't affect your understanding of the story. But sometimes they use filler episodes to talk about a side character or enlighten you on a topic in the show. And really popular shows who have to put out episodes every week, but they can't skip ahead of the manga, which is the original source of the anime. They have to put out filler episodes to buy time for the manga to get ahead. So in that sense, I can't really knock a show purely on that. I wouldn't really knock a show because of that. So to me, plot progression
wouldn't be by episode.
Yeah, it wouldn't be by
just
episode.
Be by their effectiveness or efficiency.
Or
efficiency on efficiency on camera.
That works.
So an example. Oh, you want to
go ahead.
To me, an example of a very efficient anime would be like Full Metal Alchemist. So like they had the luxury in where they didn't have to do filler episodes, which is nice. But even then, they didn't waste much time with gimmicks. They didn't waste much time with side characters that didn't play a role. Like in Naruto, even in non-filler episodes, they waste time on characters like Kiba and Shino, who eventually don't mean anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can understand if they had a plan for the characters, but literally, Kiba could have died, and the show would have played out the exact same way.
Right.
And I don't like that. Don't waste time on characters you don't even plan on using. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So you watch a show like Brotherhood now, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and every character or everybody that gets any significant time adds to the story. Either I agree, emotional reasoning, or they're friends of a main character. You know what I mean? Like efficient camera time. So that's an example of a great plot progression. A 10 out of 10 plot progression.
Okay, I have nothing to add on to that. Like for plot progression, I figure that is. And actually, when I read the second one, I would actually argue that a portion of this goes into plot progression, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So the second one was character design, and by character design, we're talking strictly how the character looks. Cool?
Yes, I love this category.
Yeah. Character design, not character development, because you could mention character development into plot progression, into the plot. So
solely just the aesthetic of the character.
Yes, how the character looks.
Yeah.
The effort, the creativity, the time put into one character.
Appeal. Like
the appeal.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I feel like a lot of I don't know, me personally, from the anime debates I've been a part of from high school to now,
a whole lot.
No one really talks about this. Like, bro, some characters just look fucking cool. Like Itachi just looks cool, man. Like
Minato looks cool.
Not even to get into their abilities, their powers, the lore of the world. None of that. They just look good. Like they're designed well.
Right.
And I think artists should be, or shows
should aspire to do stuff like that.
For that.
Yeah, shows should be noted for man, some great character designs, man. Like even Pokemon, an anime, a lot of people don't consider an anime. That's your opinion. It still is.
Yep.
They have to come up with over 50 plus or over 100 plus characters called Pokemon every new arc. and
give them evolutions.
And give them names, evolutions, abilities, spawn locations. Like, you know how much effort goes into coming up with 10 Pokemon that look
definitely not easy.
You know what I mean? That look like complete wild ass aliens. They basically look like aliens. Sometimes they base it off of birds and dogs. So, obviously, they get some inspiration from the real world, but still creative,
right?
So I think when it comes to character design, Pokemon's 10 out of 10. Just to put that out there, because the shit they do is crazy. But that was just an example of that.
Nah, like I said, I agree 100%. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, all that shit.
Even
like,
Yu-Gi-Oh, Dark Magician. Whoa, let's talk about Dark Magician. Though.
Dark Magician was
Dark Magician. Yo, when that nigga cut the hat back, that nigga took the hat for him.
Dark Magic Attack, man. Wow.
Even Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Blue Eyes White Dragon. And then you get into like Obelisk the Tormentor,
Slifer,
Wind Dragon of Ra. Like,
wait.
you want to appreciate Yu-Gi-Oh really quick? Let's appreciate Yu-Gi-Oh real quick.
Salute to Yu-Gi-Oh.
Let's appreciate Yu-Gi-Oh real quick. Let's talk about Yami and Yugi.
The concept of him having to say Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, but even the fact that like,
God,
this was the first show to really do what One Punch Man is doing, and like a simple redraw of the same character changes the entire perception of the character. Yo, Yami and Yugi are the same fucking design, bro. Yeah. There's nothing different.
Which is taller.
Yami is just taller.
And has a deeper
voice. And his hair blows in the wind.
He doesn't laugh.
And his jacket, too, for some reason.
Yeah, his jacket's stuck in motion. Yeah, it's kind of fire. But, like, yo, that's dope as fuck.
Yeah,
dope as fuck.
Gives a like a nice little mystique on the character.
And you know, we were talking about Demon Slayer earlier, and the blonde kid, if you're watching the show, how he transitions into his sleep form,
combat mode,
whatever. If you're watching the show, you know what we're talking about. Yugi switched into Yami, and we like got hype every time,
every single time.
I can remember. I maybe because we were kids, I don't know, but when Yami was you heard the music come on, Yugi, and you heard that shit, you was like, nah, this nigga Yami.
It's game over now. It's game over now.
This nigga Yami about to come through and shut this shit down. You feel me? So. Amazing design. Kaiba, fire design.
Maximilian. Oh, you read my mind. You read my mind.
With the golden eye. And they can just move his hair to the side real quick.
Merrick, dope design.
Merrick was fire,
man. Even the minor character, I want to say minor character, supporting like a Shizu, fire character, I thought. Even Rex. Weevil.
The bug dude?
Yeah. All good character designs, man. And the monsters, like Dark Magician, Blue Eyes White Dragon, Jinzo. Fucking
Jinzo was hard. Jinzo was hard. That nigga was like
boy. Hard.
Even Buster
Blader, Dark Paladin, whatever you want to call
it. The fusions. Oh my god.
Like facts. When Dark Magician fused with Buster Blader and made Dark Paladin, nigga, God. I lost.
Even when Blackluster Soldier fused with Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon.
Nigga got up the back.
He rode a 3-headed dragon.
Man, come on now.
Yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh! Character designs, 10 out of 10.
Creative, yeah. I agree, 100%.
Easily.
And I was like, yeah, we actually got to put Yu-Gi-Oh! Through the ringer one time, but...
Yo, that's the fucked up thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that since they have to redo it for the kids every couple years, they reinvent the show.
Yeah.
And there's Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, there's Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, and all these...
And Zexal.
Remakes of the same concept. But the original Yu-Gi-Oh! show was a great show, and if you haven't watched it and you like the game, you should watch it.
Yeah.
Like it was that's the only one you really need to watch. Everything after that was kind of like a watered down version of that. Because boy, that man Yami, boy,
yeah, he was a problem.
That was that dude.
Battle City was mine.
Yo, the Shadow Realm? Yo, I remember watching an episode that really fair for this nigga life. Like, bro, he about to go to the Shadow
Niggas are fighting for their souls every time they laced up, man.
Did they ever really, explain what the Shadow Realm was? Is that hell?
Bro,
that's like purgatory.
It might as well.
The Phantom Zone.
It might as well. You know, people don't know this, but, Yu-Gi-Oh! Originally was really a violent manga. Check it out in your spare time. You check out the manga for Yu-Gi-Oh! Before it turned into Yu-Gi-Oh! It was like a violent manga about this dude summoning monsters and shit. It turned into a card game, but it wasn't originally a card game.
Well, he was
I didn't know that.
Monsters.
It's I don't know exactly. Don't quote me in the comments, but I'm just saying it was violent. Like people died and characters died and shit.
Wow.
But then he seen the appeal of Pokemon cards and he was like, oh shit, I can do something with this. And he turned it into a card game and it took off. So it had to be child friendly after that.
The money is the motive.
But look into the lore of Yu-Gi-Oh, y'all. It's really interesting.
He saw the $sign right behind him. He said, "Nah, I can't keep doing this."
he saw Yu-Gi-Oh making money. He was like, nah.
He saw Pokemon making the dollars. He said, "Nah, I gotta chase the bag."
Hey, I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
Hey, I don't either. Can't knock his hustle.
Right. So that's character design, y'all.
All right, cool. Third category, closure.
Damn.
Very important. And this hits all three of us home. I mean, sidebar from anime, if you watch Game of Thrones, we had a lot of questions that were answered throughout seasons that weren't answered, through seasons 1 through 7. And the way season 8 happened, I wasn't satisfied because I felt like, what the fuck did I just watch? Why did I invest my time into this to have nothing to show for it?
I wasn't trying to remember this though.
And
low key, I put Game of Thrones into a bank
in a vault
in my head and just forgot about it.
It's
truly
trauma.
sad.
It's a trauma.
It's truly sad.
I apologize for that, but that was that was the first example that popped in my head.
Bad closure.
But that same logic can apply to anime, and it should apply to anime. And I hope that you hold anime writers accountable to that.
Finishing their show right.
Right.
Because Death Note should have had a better ending, son.
Don't waste my
Who the fuck is Mir?
Who the fuck is Mir, man?
And Elemental P? They might have just brought out Z too.
You good, bro?
Nah, bro. Fuck all this shit, bro.
Death
Note was really fire, bro. L was that dude, bro. Kira was that dude.
He was. Was. Keyword was.
And then N come through with M. What was the other nigga name? P? QRX? Who? Nigga? What's up with these alphabets, dog? Come on, son. And why L? Why the author pick L out of all the letters in the alphabet? Why not B? Or O? Feel me? Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. I'm just saying, closure is important.
Yikes. Alright, all right, cool. Next is animation.
Wait. Before we get past closure.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Could we get an example of an anime with good closure that's not Brotherhood?
Oh, that's not Brotherhood.
Everybody's like,
wow, damn, man. He's had the blue. All right,
come on, y'all watch a lot of anime.
No, I got it.
I thought, and I just finished watching this anime last week. Akame got killed. It's an anime that had good closure to me.
I feel that. I've also watched it. I agree. I was when the show was over, I was happy.
Right.
I didn't want another episode.
I didn't have any questions afterwards, and I was satisfied.
I think that's what good closure is. When something ends and you're like, okay, cool. Like Avengers Endgame, the latest one, not like with the latest Avengers, I was satisfied. I know a lot of people weren't. Fat Thor didn't appeal to everybody. The Hulk not fighting, whatever. Comic heads going crazy because it's not a fucking replica of the comics, whatever. But to me, I was happy with the ending of Endgame. I left the theater like, yeah, I'm cool. Like I have no complaints. So
that was the best encapsulation of a 22 movie series. The only, but the best still that I've ever seen in my life. So.
Yeah. So I agree with you.
Okay. But yeah,
Akame can kill.
Yeah, Akame can kill. Like, yeah.
You have one?
You have anything, Andrew?
I would say Code Geass.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. I had no real
I was satisfied.
questions. I was satisfied with the ending.
You should really watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch. I'll watch it.
You're gonna like it.
Yeah. So if you guys have any, feel me, that you would want to put up in that discussion for closure, don't be afraid to tell us about it. If it's anime we haven't checked out, we'll definitely take a peek at it, see what we find, see if we like it or not, see if it really, closes the book.
And no, if you suggest something to us, we're gonna attack it. Well, I will at least. But that's what we're about.
All of us.
Yeah, but that's what we're about.
Just to reiterate, we're about the halfway point. The categories you covered so far are plot progression, character design, and closure. We're about to switch over to animation.
Ooh.
How we want to define this?
It's a good one.
How we want to define animation?
How the characters, the setting, and the story all play out, as in like how they look when you're watching on screen, like on screen.
Fluidity. There's layers to this one. It's kind of like a mixture of fluidity
and accurate representation.
Yeah,
of content in the books, in the manga.
Cool.
Because like when you read like Attack on Titan, for example, one of the best animated shows you can watch right now.
Yes.
If you look at the manga and then watch the show, the transition is almost 1-to-1. That, and then 2, it just looks great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The action scenes look great.
They're crisp.
Vibrant.
Yeah.
So I think animation is pretty point blank on that one.
All right. Cool. So we move on to the next one.
Yeah.
All right. 5, emotional appeal.
Damn.
There are so many ways that you could define this.
Heartstrings.
We all have
Tear jerkers.
We all have our different interpretations.
Rage.
But what I'm saying is how I would think the characters feel in a situation that they're put in. You know? So
Preach.
That's deep.
Preach. Preach.
So let's take Attack on Titan, my go anime whatsoever. Like when people see their loved ones like get eaten by titans or their comrades get smacked out of the air by titans,
Like flies.
like how do I see the emotion on their face. I'm like, damn, like this shit is real. Like these characters are really like fearing for their life, even though they're fighting for other people's lives. If that makes sense. So they're like the characters themselves are caught in this inner battle that we want to run, but we can't run. That's just an example, of emotion.
Legit like war.
You almost feel bad for them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I guess emotional appeal is how the way the character's emotions are displayed,
and how that translates to
you
as an audience
member. I would add to that the emotion the show brings out of you in the varying ways that may do that. So like Naruto versus Sasuke, Valley of the End, gets me hype every time. You know what I mean? Like it brings emotion out of me even though I've seen it before.
Right.
So I think that's also important. That shows bring energy out of you. You know what I mean? Imagine watching a show for 12 episodes and you don't react once. Good Lord, you should have quit.
Why are you watching the show?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So yeah, that's emotional appeal.
Sound good to me.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Number 6, uniqueness and creativity. Man. So this is something that could be hit or miss amongst all 3 of us. But what we mean by it is, well, at least what I mean by it is the effort that you put in, that writers put into anime, and how that goes to inspire other animes that come after it.
Okay. I have a different definition. In my head, I'm thinking how out of the box was this writer thinking, and how well does it connect, A, and B, translate to the audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So think about, we could say Death Note now. Very creative anime. I talk about it all the time.
Right.
He thought of that idea, executed it well, and we understood it well. You know what I mean? The core concept of a Death Note. You know what I mean? It translated well to the audience. And then 2, the story never lost its logic.
Right.
While dealing with such a creative thing. You know what I mean? Throughout the entire show, you understand it, and the show understands it, and it's explained to you in thorough detail. It's not like Dragon Ball Z where like characters power up out of nowhere, and attacks come from anywhere, and alien races flying from. You know what I mean? It's creative. Dragon Ball Z is creative, but it's like almost random. You know what I mean? Right. So I think creativity is how well thought out your wild ass ideas are, and how you execute them. Execution is key.
Right. Well, for common ground, I think we can find common ground on this. I was paying more homage to animes that set the bar. So like Dragon Ball Z.
That's what more I was thinking of.
And stuff, which I mean, I think that's logical.
I think that's.
But I appreciate what you said too, because you're thinking out of the box. So if you apply it like the way that you're explaining it, it could give more credit to animes that came after. So let's just say,
I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
And I think we should, although we got to pay respect to the OGs like DBZ, Hunter x Hunter, or whatever, but we got to acknowledge the animes that come after and do it better.
Right. I agree.
But not many I don't think animes really came around and did the same thing. They applied the same concepts. It's more like they applied to the same concepts to their world, though.
Yeah.
So Naruto took elements from Hunter x Hunter, but it applied it to a completely separate universe.
And made it way better.
And blew it out the water.
Yeah.
You ask me.
For sure. Oh, yeah, for damn sure.
So,
the Uchihas make the... what is it?
I don't even...
The assassin family? The assassin
it wasn't even the assassin family. See, we don't even...
Them red-eye niggas.
Yeah.
The blonde hair people. Yeah.
The red-eye niggas.
Red-eye niggas from on that
whatever. The Hugo's blowing out the water.
R.I.P. to the next one. Yeah. Shout out to Uchihas.
I'll pour the 40 out for him.
But yeah, so I think uniqueness is a multi-layered topic, and whenever we get to talk about it, we got to really go from both spectrums.
Yeah, the starters, the one who set the trend, and we have to really differentiate between the people who took the trend and ran with it. Cool. I think that's a fair assessment.
Right. So in the last category we'll talk about is logical consistency. Man, like your shit gotta make sense. That's the moral of the story. If your shit don't make sense, then to me it's not worth watching. Like this is like a personal like topic to me. Like this is the most important thing category out of the 7 I just read to myself.
Word.
You know what I mean? Like
point blank period.
Shit honestly. Don't make sense, and your shit don't stay consistent, then I'm probably not gonna watch your anime.
I think they go hand in hand. The make sense and be consistent. Because you can't have parts of the anime that make sense and then shit the bed in another part of the anime.
I mean, not necessarily, because when I say logical consistency, you have to mention both those points. Making sense and it has to stay consistent. Because you have animes that just stay consistent by not making sense whatsoever. And since they stay consistent, you just gotta give them their props. Like, you can't really hit them in the category because they didn't make sense from the start. They don't make sense to the very end. They're consistently not making sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but
I think that's just very unlikely.
Yeah,
I think the other is more common. I think it being illogical but remaining consistent with that illogical stuff is more common
to happen
than them being logical but inconsistent.
No, I'm saying that, but I'm saying if it's illogical, I'm saying whether it's logical or illogical, my point is that they just stay consistent. So if you're going to say logical consistency, you have to legit say that it makes sense and it remains consistent.
Yeah,
it can't be one of those.
That was my whole thing, though. I said,
you know what I'm saying?
I said if it's logical, I'll at least have it be consistent as well. I don't want it to make sense at one point. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. My brain will register that as this makes sense. And then I'll store that as A. And then B happens, and B doesn't make
sense.
You're
like, what the fuck? So I guess, honestly, we're just talking about consistency here.
Yeah, really what it comes down to.
It's really, consistency. Because, like, real talk, if you take Dragon Ball Z, for example, like, the logic not there, but the consistency's there. Because they always do the same shit.
When I'm talking logic, though, I'm talking about logic as it pertains to the anime.
To the show, of course.
Yeah, so logical consistency is just, if that anime holds that logic for that anime, I wanted to see it last throughout the whole show. Don't just give me some, okay, this happened now. That's cool. And then the next second, something completely different, disregarding the first thing happens.
Yeah. You can't go against your own logic.
Yeah, that's all I'm talking about.
You can't go against your own logic. If characters are certain power, if you set a character at a certain power of 100, and then you set a character to be power 200, don't let a character at power 50 come beat the character at power 200.
That don't make sense. That's like Krillin coming out of nowhere and beating Kid Buu.
Yeah, it's like...
I mean, essentially, didn't they do that in Dragon Ball Z anyways?
They do that all the time.
Yeah,
that's
all the time.
Fucking problem.
So yeah, like, it's getting hit the fuck up on this category right here.
So yeah,
which is why I don't fuck with it.
To reiterate the categories: plot progression, character design, closure,
emotional,
animation, emotional appeal, uniqueness and creativity, and logical consistency. I know we kind of butchered the last one, but basically the shit has to add up. Basically, to put it simply.
Oh God,
the shit has to add up. You can't have characters defeating characters that, based on the show's logic, they shouldn't defeat.
Yeah. Right.
You feel me?
So 2 + 2 just equals 4, and that's that.
So Dimitri mentioned the most important topic to him was logical consistency. Mine's is, y'all obviously know, that creativity one. How about you, Andrew?
If I were to pick one for my most important, I think I'm gonna go with emotional appeal. The anime has to hit the soul.
That would be my second. That would be my second.
You know, I truly don't care for emotional appeal too much.
What? You have to.
Yikes.
You have to, bro. That's how you relate yourself to the anime.
Nah, I'm more interested in the creativity of it.
But how can you say that when your one of your favorite anime relates to you personally? Like your favorite niche is the god complex and murder and death and killing.
Yeah, but if the show had that and it was a boring execution, I wouldn't give a fuck.
You would still
watch
watch
what I'm saying?
You would still watch.
Nah,
I
wouldn't care. I wouldn't care for it. Okay. You get what I'm saying? It's because of the way it's done that I care so much about it. It just so happens that I fuck with that type of stuff. But Code Geass and Death Note and Attack on Titan do that shit right. If you give me some bullshit show that doesn't do it right, I'm not gonna care. You know what I mean? So to me, creativity far surpasses every other topic on it.
I don't know, because there's a lot of shows that are creative that just don't hit it with the other realms. Like,
what's an example? Was One Piece is
So,
very
Black
creative?
no. Like,
That shit's not creative.
You don't think so?
Hell no.
I'll hit it with like
Whoa.
the
Black Clover's creative, bro. Come on, they're reusing.
It's
magic.
like a combination of Zatch Bell and like
But like even the magical abilities aren't even that like out of this world. Like I could have thought of that shit. You know what I mean? The most creative shit is probably Asta and his swords. To me,
And Julius.
to be fair,
Julius is cool.
To be fair, I have
The rest of the cast,
Yeah, I mean,
okay, he has dark. He basically uses darkness. Okay, that's not unseen.
That's
not
fire.
unseen though. It's not. I'm not saying it's trash. I'm just saying it's not
That's
out
actually
of this world.
it's done in One Piece.
That's done multiple times. Light and darkness
fucking
is like used over and over again.
I mean, you say that about anything.
I know.
yeah, but I'm saying like, why?
You're saying it's
So why are we
creative.
hitting Black Clover for it? Like,
No,
that
you're
so
saying
hard?
it's creative.
It is creative though.
It's not.
I think it's
Alright,
creative.
It's not that creative.
I haven't watched enough of a sample size. From the sample size I got, it seems pretty standard run of the mill in terms of the creativity realm. Maybe with how it's executed is probably what you're talking about. I guess.
I'm not putting it up there on creativity in my opinion. It's a cool show. I like some of the concepts in it, but nothing. It doesn't stand out to me. My Hero stands out way more than that.
Oh yeah, My Hero is very creative.
Yeah, quirks and all that.
Genist.
All right.
We got to talk about the dumbest quirks in the world, but that's another episode.
Oh god.
Wow.
So yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. We got our topics. Plot progression, character design, closure, animation, emotional appeal, uniqueness and creativity, logic, consistency. So next time on our anime episode of Black Bento, we're gonna put that to work and break down some anime.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna run an anime through the ringer, see if it can stand up against the tiers, and see how you guys feel about it.
Right. And if you want us to, if you have any anime to suggest, if we watched it, we could put it through the ringer. So just let us know.
Word, Black Bento out.
Deuces.